Thanks, everybody, for coming into the theater on a beautiful day to be in the dark with the bats. That's great. Lots. But isn't it great to see so many bat fans? That's great. It's as most of you already know, KRISTIN TIèCHE is a local filmmaker. Yeah. And we are honored to be presenting the world premiere today for her film. Woo! And she's a good cheerleader. I wanted to also thank, there are a lot of community partners who got involved with getting the word out. So I just wanted to say thank you to the Center for Biological Diversity, Marine Wildlife, Friends of Olampali. I should have known that. We had a film years ago about the park, State Park, Wild Care, and Women in Film. So thank you very much. Yeah. I would like to invite KRISTIN up to say a few words of introduction for the film. I also want to remind you all to vote for you can vote for all the films to different degrees. Yeah, but of course, you vote for your favorite. There will be a QR code up on the stage afterwards, but there are machines in the lobby, and you can also use the link on your ticket to vote. You can vote immediately after, or you can vote for all the films you want to vote for afterwards. So,
thank you, Jenny.
And stick around for the Q&A afterwards.
So thank you all for being here. I think most of you, or many of you, have been supporters since day one. It's like almost a miracle that this film even is here, because it was completely grassroots funded, just individuals donating like $5, $25. So here we are. It's just unbelievable. So, okay, now of course I'm getting emotional. Okay, if I start crying, it's between exhaustion and just happiness of seeing everybody here. So, okay, I'll just take a deep breath. I know my yoga teacher's here in the audience too. Okay, so the cast and crew are all here. It's just incredible to be surrounded by so much support. So I thank you all, and it's also incredible to be selected to screen at Doclands right here in Marin County, where I grew up. And so to be able to share the film with my community is just, there just are no words. So enjoy the film, and we'll talk afterwards.
Here's to the invisible mammals, the film and the mammals. Who wouldn't want these as neighbors and friends? Good job. Come on up, KRISTIN. Yeah, we're going to have KRISTIN come up first, and then we'll bring up some of the cast and crew, and we can talk bats, and we've got some special guests to bring up on stage too, don't we?
We do, some non-human friends. Anybody, is there, is just me, or?
If you want to say something first and then bring up whomever you'd like to.
Well,
the crew, everybody.
No, I'm pretty exhausted. I'm kind of like emotionally depleted right now. But yes, thank you for having us here, and thanks for all of you for being here. And
it was an honor. Such a beautiful film. And this is going to be huge in terms of getting the word out on what bats are and not besmirch their character.
Yeah, I certainly hope that this film, this is really just the beginning. The beginning was 2019 when there's a few people in the audience here who held little bat house parties to just get us to Texas. We were like, we just need to go to Texas. And so, but this is the beginning of the life of this film. So thank you again for being here and, being part of this moment with me and the team and the cast and crew. And we certainly hope that this message is the beginning of people understanding the value of bats and being able to see them in a different way, and helping the Operation Fat Bat, help to prevent the extinction of several species of bats that are threatened in North America. Yeah. Okay, I got through that too.
Yeah, no, it's definitely it's definitely an important film for all that you've said and all that you've shown folks. So that's great. Now, would you like to invite some folks up?
We have Dr. WINIFRED Fricke here. Come on up. And we also have, we have CORKY QUIRK and some bat friends. And we have Dr. Alice CHUNG-MACCOUBREY here as well from National Parks. Yeah, come on up. I don't know if you wanted to, if we start with the cast and then bring up the crew, or just bring up the crew as well. Why don't we bring up the crew too? So we got Matthew Podolsky, producer. And Heidi Zimmerman, editor. She's over here. Okay, great. And then there's like a few more members of the crew in the audience. If you could just stand up, if you were a member of the crew, if you held a microphone at some point, or a camera, or like did a color, or worked on sound. Yeah, so thank you all of you for contributing and making this film beautiful. Thank you. So yeah, I don't know. So Heidi, Matt, Alice, WINIFRED, and then Corky's down here getting the bats out. Is this when we take questions from the audience, or do you want to start?
And I was just going to say, they're non-flying bats.
Oh, right.
And the story is, a lot of you probably already know this, but a couple months ago or so, there was actually a bat community living here in the Raphael Theatre. And we had to bring in the experts to gently, exactly, convince them to live elsewhere. And so we were closed for 2 weeks for the vacation.
Yeah.
Till they went on their vacation and found a new home somewhere.
Yeah. Well, the bats are back in the theater in a good way.
Yeah. And we're happy to have them.
Yeah, so
we are.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think that we probably have some questions, unless we wanted to look, bring these bats out here.
Bats. All right, well, let's say hi to the bats first.
Yeah, there they are.
So I have 2 Mexican free-tailed bats. They are part of my ambassador team. Each of them was injured. Thank you. And so they aren't able to fly. They aren't releasable. So they travel around, do programs like KRISTIN filmed at the Yola Causeway.
Mm-hmm. Okay, there we go.
And they are really cute. Oh my gosh. Really cute. There's a question. Okay.
Oh, sorry.
I'll repeat your question.
Okay.
She's asking about the thought process, KRISTIN's thought process for not bringing in the old style view of what bats are and vampires and that side of things. So
yeah. Well, first and foremost, I want to just say that, like, I'm surrounded by these people who have so much love for bats that it's, the words coming out of your mouths, is it emanates. And so it's like, you all know, you're scientists, so you all know how important bats are to our ecosystem. And so I was just there documenting, their love and their knowledge. And so that's part of it. And the other part is that when you see bats, when you go out to either the Yolo Causeway or, to Bracken Cave, it's incredible. It's like they're flying out at golden hour and the light is reflecting in their wings. And how can you not see them in this beautiful, magical, kind of godlike way? Yeah. So I don't know if you have anything else to add to that.
Yeah, I'll just add that, well, first of all, I just want to say thank you, Kristen. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for letting me follow you for 6 years.
It's pretty amazing and special to be able to see this film come together. We first met in 2019, and we've spent a lot of time together over those 6 years. And I will say, from my perspective, this film's really is a testament to Kristen's dedication and to her vision. And this idea of it being positive, like she's saying, she followed the story, and I feel like she really captured the way those of us who have the privilege and honor of getting to work with this amazing group of animals, she let that sort of lead her and share that with all of you. And it is a positive story in terms of the way we feel about bats and the way that we experience them, because we have this special opportunity to work up close. And so it was, I can, as chief scientist of Bat Conservation International, love that you didn't go through the typical sort of myths and lore that are negative, because showing them for what they are and how we experience them and what they do for the planet really is their real story. So thank you.
There you have it.
The first question was about my son and whether he's Dr. Darwin now. Darwin is 15 years old and a freshman in high school, so he has not earned his doctorate yet. Note the yet. Yeah.
And he's also in a play today,
yeah,
so he's really into the arts.
Yeah, he couldn't be here today because he's actually performing tonight in a local theater production, so. And then in terms of white nose syndrome, so there are some indications that in certain parts, especially in New York and some parts of the Northeast, we have some remnant populations that are holding on. Even up in the UP, those bats that we were catching that were fat, those are bats that have survived the mass mortality event. And so, and that was the whole idea behind Project Fat Bat, was to try to help the survivors survive. And there's lots of different solutions being tested. There's a woman who's a scientist with the USGS who's been working on a vaccine. There's some indicators that might help increase survival for some populations. There's the work that we've been doing on Fat Bat. There's some work that shows that if we can remove the fungus from some of the caves and mines where bats hibernate, that can actually reduce infection rates and increase survival. There's not going to be one cure, right? Or one solution, but we're hoping that by trying these different strategies that can help increase survival, that's going to be our best options. Yeah.
He was asking, he had visited Lava Beds National Monument and visited the lava tubes that are there. There are over 700 lava tubes and caves there at Lava Beds, and there definitely are bat populations there, a variety of the freetails that we saw featured here, as a variety of other Myota species, and they are definitely monitoring the bat species that they have there, and we've actually been doing surveillance there for the disease to see if it's coming in, and it did actually just show up, not the disease, but the fungus in low levels at Lava Beds National Monument. So the park and the National Park Service is taking steps to make sure that they can prevent the spread of the fungus.
I'll just add on to that, that sometimes if you visit a park like Lava Beds or even at Pinnacles where we have hibernating bat populations, even they close them off to human visitors because people coming into spaces where bats are hibernating can disturb the bats. And even though you may not realize that you are, because it takes them a little bit of while to shiver up and wake up, your presence can cause them to have to spend some of their valuable fat resources to shiver and wake up. And so that can harm them. So the parks do a really great job of both protecting the bat populations that live in the park as well as allowing recreation, but we'll have seasonal closures of areas to protect bats that may be hibernating and needing those valuable fat reserves through winter. Yeah, so here in the Bay Area, you're right, there's around 13 different species that could occur. I don't think there's been any detections of the fungus here in the Bay Area, nor the evidence of the disease. Luckily, our winters are relatively mild, and so where we see the most impact from white nose syndrome as a disease is in places where we have very long, cold winters, because the way that the disease causes mortality is through impacting their ability to hibernate for long periods of time. So we can be relatively hopeful that we wouldn't see a lot of mortality of our bat populations here in the Bay Area. Other kinds of stressors that exist for bats in California include, habitat loss, urbanization, and pesticides. Making sure that we protect green spaces, that we maintain clean water and clean air, all of the things that we're doing to help protect our environment, help bats. What's that? Wind. Oh yeah, and the other threat in our area is, of course, wind energy turbines. So unfortunately, wind energy turbines kill large numbers of bats. There are ways in which we can reduce the ways that wind turbines kill bats, and I think actually Altamont is one of the examples of doing some really forward planning to make sure that wind energy doesn't cause massive amounts of mortality of our bats. But that's a threat that's here in California as well as globally.
I wanted to add as well from the wildlife rescue perspective, cats. Both of the bats that I have here in the cage were permanently injured due to cats. It's our highest intake of injury. And so free roaming cats do a lot of damage to our wildlife. We also get a lot of bats in that are stuck to fly strips from barns usually, or people who have outdoor chicken coops. Fly strips are not made for those kinds of structures. They're for inside our houses, and they catch all kinds of things. So that's a couple others. And I just want to double down on the insecticide use, because not only does it reduce their food, but it also affects their bodies too.
This question here in the front.
Great question. So the question was whether or not the fat that bats put on, is it brown fat the way that bears put on? And yes, the fat that bats put on during the fall period is actually brown fat, which is a different kind of fat than other kinds of fat, and it has good metabolic potential for shivering and creating heat.
We've got time for a couple more questions.
How about Shipra? I think this is a question for Corky.
I'm really limited on the number of rice farmers I get to work with. The DeWitts have been amazing. So I don't know.
I will add that there's been a number of studies around the world. So there's been studies of rice production in Thailand, rice production in Spain, rice production in Mexico that have all documented the economic benefits that bats provide to rice farmers, also to cotton and other crops. But rice has been a crop that has been studied and documented in lots of different places. I think our Thai researcher friends documented that the amount that bats contribute is equivalent to about 20,000, feeds about 20,000 people in Thailand per year. That's the yield benefit that bats provide.
And I know that we're running out of time for a Q&A, but I wanted to say that we're going to be in the lobby and that we have a sign-up sheet if you want to get on our mailing list, and we'd really appreciate it. If any of you have any comments that you want to make, leave a little comment. And we have volunteers who will be holding these cutouts. So if you want to come find us, and then as I mentioned, it's been a grassroots production from the get-go. We also, if you want to make a donation, there's like a little QR code and stuff. So we'll all be out in the lobby, and you can come ask any of us. Look for either the cutouts or somebody wearing the childless bat lady T-shirt. You know, because we're all childless bat ladies at heart, right? And we'll be happy to answer any questions in the lobby. So.
Perfect, yeah, because we've got a tight turn around with the next screening, so if everybody could just exit to go, and you can vote for the film out there as well.
What's that? The bat shirt, you can buy it online, theinvisiblemammal.com. Yeah.